Did you know some of Hollywood's biggest stars were erased from the industry overnight? Imagine going from sold-out theaters to being blacklisted in a single scandal. Hollywood is a place where dreams are made, but it's also where careers are destroyed. Ever wonder why Rose McGowan vanished after exposing Harvey Weinstein? Today, we are going to talk about the darkest reasons these stars were banned and why Hollywood never forgave them. Charlie Sheen. A single phone call in early March 2011 severed Charlie Sheen's decades-long run at the pinnacle of television comedy. By then, he had starred in 2.5 Men for 8 seasons, earning a record $24 million per season and 2 Emmy nominations. His earlier career included acclaimed roles in films such as Platoon and Wall Street, yet it was the sitcom that made him a household name. On February 28th, he disclosed on the Today Show, "I have a disease," referring to his HIV diagnosis, a revelation that captivated global headlines. Within days, his erratic media appearances grew more sensational. He boasted of having tiger blood and being on a drug called Charlie Sheen, language that both amused and alarmed fans. The final straw came after a series of missed rehearsals and on-set outbursts directed at producer Chuck Lorre. Network executives paused production and entered a bitter contract dispute. By mid-March, the show returned with Ashton Kutcher replacing Sheen, yet ratings dipped by over 20% in the first month without him. Legal settlements over unpaid taxes and a 2012 lawsuit against Warner Brothers further drained his finances. His net worth plummeted from roughly $150 million in 2010 to under $20 million by 2013. Attempts to reinvent himself through a reality series and stand-up tour met with lukewarm reception. By 2014, his name had largely vanished from primetime listings. Studios declared him uninsurable, a risk no network would shoulder. The collapse of a career built on charisma and comedic timing underscored how swiftly public perception can turn. From sitcom superstar to industry outcast, his story became a cautionary tale about the high stakes of fame. Mel Gibson. A leaked audio recording in July 2010 marked the abrupt decline of Mel Gibson's standing in Hollywood's elite circle. Fresh from an Academy Award for Braveheart in 1995 and blockbuster roles in the Lethal Weapon franchise, he seemed untouchable. That summer, tapes from a 2006 DUI arrest in Malibu surfaced, revealing violent rants that included anti-Semitic slurs and racist invective. The backlash was immediate. Studios shelved or delayed projects including The Hangover Part 2 and distanced themselves from his production company. By September 2010, the Directors Guild declined to back his next film, citing concerns over financing and public relations. Awards bodies rescinded invitations, and his name disappeared from nomination shortlists. Apologies issued at press conferences and anger management courses did little to reverse the damage. Advocacy groups called for boycotts of his films. His net worth, estimated at $140 million in 2009, fell to $75 million by 2012 after legal fees and lost contracts. His directorial comeback with Hacksaw Ridge in 2016 earned critical praise and 2 Oscar nominations, yet major studios remained wary. Insurers flagged him as high risk, forcing him to seek independent financing. Casting notices after 2017 rarely included his name. The actor, once celebrated for portraying heroes, became emblematic of Hollywood's zero-tolerance stance on hate speech. His journey from revered filmmaker to professional pariah illustrated the enduring consequences of words spoken in anger. MoNique. In February 2010, MoNique stunned the film industry by winning the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for Precious. Her electrifying acceptance speech celebrated Black women in cinema, yet hinted at deeper tensions. 2 years later, she declined the traditional promotional tour, citing exhaustion and mistrust of studio demands. She alleged that executives had threatened to withhold roles unless she complied with exhaustive interview schedules and late-night talk show appearances. By 2017, her public critique of Netflix's pay structure escalated the conflict. Offered $100,000 for a stand-up special, she demanded a rate comparable to male peers with lower viewership. Negotiations collapsed, and Netflix removed her name from future projects. Industry insiders noted her reputation as uncooperative and risky to insure. By 2018, her on-screen presence had all but vanished. Her net worth dipped from $6 million in 2010 to under $2 million. She embarked on a solo tour and spoke at festivals advocating for equitable pay. Casting directors confirmed her name no longer appeared on call sheets. Awards committees excluded her from ballots citing lack of promotion. A performer once in high demand became a cautionary example of the cost of defiance. Her talent remained unquestioned, yet her career stood as a testament to the precarious balance between creative control and industry conformity. Rose McGowan. By late 1990s, Rose McGowan had built a reputation for fearless roles in horror classics and edgy dramas. Her turning point arrived in October 2017, when she accused Harvey Weinstein of rape, sparking the Me Too movement. Her tweet calling him a rapist triggered a flood of similar allegations. She testified before Congress in February 2018, urging stronger legal protections for survivors. Hollywood's response was swift. Her role on a major fantasy series ended mid-season, and networks quietly removed her character's episodes from streaming platforms. Her memoir, Brave, released in January 2018, detailed threats she received from studio lawyers and private investigators. Endorsement deals evaporated, and her net worth fell from $4 million in 2016 to under $1 million by 2019. Film festivals canceled her appearances, and sponsors withdrew funding from panels she headlined. Agents dropped her, citing reputational risk. She launched a foundation to support survivors, yet fundraising proved difficult without corporate backing. Filmmakers avoided her name in casting discussions, fearing backlash. A star who once thrived on controversy found her platform diminished by the very industry she helped expose. Her exile underscored Hollywood's struggle to reconcile accountability with profit. Isaiah Washington. Isaiah Washington's star rose in 2005 when he joined the cast of a groundbreaking medical drama that dominated ratings. His portrayal of Dr. Preston Burke earned critical acclaim and steady viewership. In October 2006, a heated disagreement with a co-star culminated in a homophobic slur that was overheard by crew members. Within days, network executives convened emergency meetings. Washington issued an apology on national television in November, yet the damage was irreversible. By May 2007, he was written out of the series in a dramatic season finale that left fans outraged. His departure coincided with a sharp drop in ratings. His net worth, estimated at $6 million in 2007, fell to under $2 million by 2009 after lost salary and agent fees. Offers from independent filmmakers provided minimal relief. His public efforts to advocate for LGBTQ rights in 2008 went largely unnoticed by casting directors. Industry insiders confirmed that studios refused to risk similar controversies. His name disappeared from award nominations and press tours. A career that once embodied diversity and complexity in prime time became a cautionary tale about the power of words. His blacklisting demonstrated Hollywood's swift action to protect its image over long-term talent. Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser captivated audiences as the swashbuckling hero of the Mummy franchise in 1999 and 2001, grossing over $200 million per installment worldwide. His comedic turn in George of the Jungle further cemented his status. In December 2017, he publicly disclosed a 2003 sexual assault by a high-ranking member of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. His testimony in 2018 led to internal HFPA investigations and resignations. Soon after, Fraser noticed a steep decline in casting calls. Industry executives cited concerns over potential litigation and perceived volatility. His agent confirmed budgets were slashed or redirected. By 2019, his net worth had plunged from $60 million to under $15 million after medical bills and reduced work. He took on roles in independent dramas, yet mainstream blockbusters remained elusive. Chronic injuries from years of performing his own stunts required multiple surgeries and extended recovery periods. In 2020, he returned to public view with a Golden Globe-nominated performance in The Whale. Despite critical acclaim, studios remained hesitant. Insurers flagged him as a liability. His name appeared only in festival programs and limited release screenings. The actor, once synonymous with summer box office success, found himself sidelined, a reminder that speaking truth can carry a heavy professional price. Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf emerged as a teenage prodigy with roles in Transformers and Disturbia, collaborating with directors such as Steven Spielberg. His performance in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull showcased his versatility. In July 2014, he was arrested in Savannah for public intoxication and disorderly conduct. Subsequent years brought allegations of emotional and physical abuse by former partners. In December 2017, actress FKA Twigs filed a lawsuit accusing him of sexual battery and infliction of emotional distress. He entered rehabilitation and issued public apologies. Studios swiftly canceled projects including a biopic and a war drama, citing moral clauses. His net worth, once $35 million in 2015, dwindled to under $5 million by 2019. Independent filmmakers invited him to avant-garde projects, yet budgets remained small. Casting directors confirmed that insurers refused to underwrite leading roles with him attached. His name vanished from major festival lineups. By 2021, his only credits were in art installations and self-funded shorts. A talent once on the cusp of superstardom became emblematic of Hollywood's intolerance for legal and personal turmoil. His career served as a stark lesson that creativity cannot always shield one from the consequences of private actions. Amanda Bynes. Amanda Bynes became a cultural icon in the early 2000s with hit Nickelodeon shows and box office successes like What a Girl Wants. By 2005, her salary exceeded $2 million per film. In April 2010, she was arrested for DUI and hit and run in Los Angeles. Over the next 3 years, her struggles with mental health became highly publicized. In 2013, she was placed under a court-appointed conservatorship after incidents including walking into traffic and posting erratic messages online. Studios and networks cited her uninsurable status and severed contracts. Her net worth plunged from $12 million in 2012 to under $1 million by 2015 after legal fees and lost earnings. She enrolled in fashion design school in 2016, but remained off-screen. Attempts to audition in 2018 were blocked by her conservators. In 2022, the conservatorship ended, and she expressed interest in returning to acting. Yet casting directors remained wary. Industry insiders noted liability concerns and potential insurance issues. Her story illustrated the precarious balance between talent and personal well-being. A bright young star's fall from grace underscored the vulnerability of fame in the face of mental health crises. Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer's breakthrough came with The Social Network in 2010 and peaked with an Academy Award nomination for Call Me By Your Name in 2017. In January 2021, private messages surfaced online alleging sexual violence and cannibalistic fantasies. The accusations spread rapidly across social media and mainstream outlets. His talent agency dropped him within 48 hours, citing moral clauses. Productions halted on Shotgun Wedding and The Offer. His net worth, estimated at $20 million in 2020, fell below $5 million by 2022 after legal costs and lost paychecks. He entered a rehabilitation program and issued a statement denying wrongdoing while seeking treatment. Despite that, insurers flagged him as high risk. Casting notices labeled him unavailable for any roles involving intimacy. Independent documentarians interviewed him, yet mainstream studios kept their distance. By 2023, his name rarely appeared in industry trades. The rapid descent from award-nominated actor to professional pariah highlighted Hollywood's low tolerance for scandal. His case became a reference point for studios tightening moral clauses and insurance requirements. Kevin Spacy. Kevin Spacey's career soared with 2 Academy Awards by 2000 and a defining role in American Beauty. His turn as Frank Underwood on a streaming political drama earned him international acclaim. In October 2017, Anthony Rapp accused him of sexual misconduct from 1986. Spacey issued a brief apology and claimed lack of recollection. Within days, Netflix suspended production on the show's 6th season and removed him from all promotional materials. His role in a major historical thriller was recast, with Christopher Plummer requiring costly reshoots. The Academy rescinded his Lifetime Achievement honor, and major film festivals barred him from appearances. His net worth declined from $100 million in 2016 to under $20 million by 2019 after settlements and lost contracts. He attempted a stage comeback in London and Italy, but found no footing in the American industry. Casting directors confirmed insurers refused coverage for any project featuring him. A performer once celebrated for his craft became emblematic of Hollywood's swift and decisive response to allegations. His fall from grace happened in a matter of weeks and served as a stark example of accountability in an era of heightened scrutiny. Dorothy Cumming. Dorothy Cumming's face first captivated audiences in 1941 as Susan Alexander Cain, yet her name soon became synonymous with Hollywood's darkest purge. Born on December 24, 1913 in Berkeley, California, she won acclaim for her raw portrayal of a troubled singer in Citizen Kane. Just 2 years later, a telegram arrived from studio executives accusing her of communist sympathies. In 1952, she testified before the House Un-American Activities Committee and refused to name colleagues. Soon after, she faced charges of perjury tied to a payroll scandal in Los Angeles, though evidence remained flimsy. By 1955, she was arrested on suspicion of shoplifting a jar of face cream, and her mugshot circulated widely in tabloids. Studios quietly removed her from casting lists and stripped her credit from re-releases of Citizen Kane. Her net worth evaporated from $30,000 to mere hundreds. She drifted between minor stage roles and odd jobs until health problems forced her into obscurity. Friends recalled her haunted eyes and trembling voice at parties where she would murmur about betrayal and lost opportunities. She died on December 7, 1971, alone in her apartment, her body unclaimed for days. In death, as in life, she remained a casualty of Hollywood's fear-driven blacklist, her talent buried beneath suspicion. John Garfield. John Garfield's gravelly voice once echoed through the most prestigious sound stages yet. By 1951, it had fallen silent. Born Jacob Julius Garfinkel on March 4, 1913 in New York City, he rose from street theater to Oscar nominations for Gentleman's Agreement and Body and Soul. His performances resonated with working-class authenticity and drew the attention of studio heads. In May of 1951, he received a subpoena from the House Un-American Activities Committee and refused to answer questions about his political beliefs. He invoked his Fifth Amendment rights and walked out under thunderous headlines. Within weeks, he found himself dropped by his talent agency and unofficially blacklisted. Offers vanished, and the salary he once commanded at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer disappeared. By 1952, he complained of chest pains and mounting stress from legal battles. On May 21st of that year, at age 39, he collapsed and died of a heart attack. Studio records later revealed that producers feared insurance risks and pressured him to conform. His funeral drew only a handful of mourners as Hollywood moved on. Decades later, scholars would point to Garfield's fate as one of the blacklist's earliest tragedies. His career and life cut short by political hysteria, he remains a symbol of talent, sacrificed at the altar of fear. Barbara Payton. Barbara Payton embodied the promise of post-war Hollywood, yet her downfall unfolded in tabloid glare. Born on November 23, 1927 in Cloquet, Minnesota, she dazzled with her platinum hair and vibrant screen presence in Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye, alongside James Cagney. In 1951, she became entangled in a sensational love triangle with actors Franchot Tone and Tom Neal. After a reported fistfight outside a Phoenix hotel, her image shifted from ingenue to scandal magnet. Studio executives branded her unmarketable, and her contract with Universal International was terminated in early 1952. She married Tone on July 28th, only to file for divorce weeks later amid public accusations of infidelity. Alcohol and drug use intensified her erratic behavior. Arrests for public drunkenness and disorderly conduct followed in 1953 and 1954. Her net worth plunged from $100,000 to near zero. She struggled for work in B-movies and live-in burlesque shows. By the late 1950s, she had undergone multiple cosmetic surgeries, attempting to reclaim her former glamour. In May of 1967, she collapsed in her apartment and died of acute alcohol poisoning at age 39. Her final years were spent in poverty and obscurity. Barbara Payton's meteoric rise and devastating fall remain a stark reminder of how swiftly Hollywood can cast aside even its brightest stars when scandal eclipses talent. Jeffrey Jones. Jeffrey Jones once lent warmth to family comedies, yet in 2003, his career derailed in a single courtroom appearance. Born on September 28, 1946, in Buffalo, New York, he charmed audiences as Principal Rooney in Ferris Bueller's Day Off and brought nuance to roles in Beetlejuice and Amadeus. On May 20th of that year, police discovered explicit images of minors in his Los Angeles home. He was arrested and charged with possession of child pornography and failure to register as a sex offender. The plea deal he accepted in September 2003 required 18 months of probation and enrollment in a sex offender treatment program. Studios immediately severed ties and dropped projects in development. His net worth evaporated from nearly $2 million to under $100,000 after legal fees and lost residuals. Agents refused to represent him, and casting notices excluded his name. Publicists distanced themselves to avoid association with his crimes. He returned sporadically to theater roles in small regional companies, yet found no path back to film or television. By 2010, his name appeared only in criminal registries. The actor who once evoked comedic charm became a cautionary footnote in Hollywood history. His exile underscored the industry's zero-tolerance policy for offenses against children and the irreversible impact of criminal conviction. Fatty Arbuckle. Fatty Arbuckle's laughter once filled silent cinemas until a scandal in 1921 turned adoration into outrage. Born on March 24, 1887 in Smith Center, Kansas, he rose to become one of the highest-paid actors at Paramount, earning $1 million a year. On September 5, 1921, at a San Francisco party, he was accused of assaulting actress Virginia Rapp, who died 4 days later. The first 2 manslaughter trials ended in hung juries. The third, in April 1922, acquitted him, but the damage was done. The studio system revoked his contracts and banned him from appearing on screen. The actor's net worth collapsed from a fortune to nothing. He adopted the pseudonym William Goodrich and worked behind the camera directing comedies. His name was scrubbed from promotional materials and newsreels. In 1933, he collapsed in his hotel room in New York City and died of a heart attack at age 46. The scandal led to the creation of Hollywood's production code and a legacy of censorship. Arbuckle's exile marked the first major moral reckoning in American cinema. His talent survived only in grainy prints and faded memories, a reminder of how swiftly acclaim can be eclipsed by controversy. Vanessa Marquez. Vanessa Marquez's journey from television breakthrough to tragic end revealed Hollywood's harshest judgments. Born on December 21, 1968 in Los Angeles, she earned recognition as nurse Wendy Goldman on a hit medical drama in the mid-90s. Her role introduced viewers to a strong yet vulnerable character and opened doors to guest spots on acclaimed series. In 2000, she began speaking out about racism and exploitation on set, citing pay disparities and offensive casting. She claimed studios retaliated by removing her from storylines and blacklisting her from future television roles. By 2004, she found herself unable to secure auditions, despite her Emmy-nominated performance. Struggles with bipolar disorder and depression intensified. On August 30th, 2018, police responded to a welfare check at her South Pasadena apartment and attempted to de-escalate a crisis. The confrontation ended with her being shot and killed by officers. No charges were filed after the incident was ruled justifiable. Her net worth had dwindled from several $100,000 to nothing. Colleagues remembered her as passionate and outspoken, yet noted how quickly studios cut ties. Her death sparked debates about mental health care and police intervention. Vanessa Marquez's exile from television and tragic final moments underscore the industry's failure to support artists facing personal and systemic challenges. Howard Rollins. Howard Rollins's commanding presence shone in award-winning roles, yet addiction and legal troubles dimmed his star. Born on October 17, 1950, in Baltimore, Maryland, he earned an Academy Award nomination for his portrayal of Coalhouse Walker Jr. in Ragtime in 1981. In 1983, he was arrested for cocaine possession in Beverly Hills and entered rehabilitation. Producers of his hit television series dismissed him from the cast in 1988 after repeated drug-related arrests. his salary plummeted from $100,000 per episode to no income as offers vanished. In 1992, he faced misdemeanor charges for driving under the influence and reckless driving. His reputation as unreliable and uninsurable spread through casting offices. By 1995, he managed only a handful of independent film roles and guest appearances. His net worth dwindled from $2 million in 1985 to under $50,000 by 1996 after legal fees and lost earnings. On December 8, 1996, at age 46, he died from complications of AIDS exacerbated by years of substance abuse. Industry insiders later admitted they feared negative publicity more than offering support. His final performance remained unfinished and largely unseen. Howard Rollins' exile from mainstream projects highlighted the industry's harsh response to addiction and illness. Sandrine Lock. Sandrine Lock's ascent to stardom alongside Clint Eastwood gave way to a bitter legal battle that cast her into professional limbo. Born on May 28, 1944 in Shelbyville, Tennessee, she won acclaim for her role in The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, earning an Academy Award nomination in 1968. Her relationship with Eastwood began in 1975 and produced multiple hit films. When they parted ways in 1989, she filed a palimony suit alleging emotional and professional retaliation. The lawsuit exposed behind-the-scenes power dynamics and claimed she was blacklisted by Eastwood's circle. Studios removed her name from development meetings and shelved scripts she had written. Her net worth fell from $4 million in 1988 to under $500,000 by 1992 after legal costs. She turned to directing and independent theater, yet found funding scarce. By 1995, her only credits were small television guest spots. Critics praised her resilience, but box office doors remained closed. She died on November 3, 2018, at age 74 from cardiac arrest. In death as in life, she remained a figure caught between talent and industry politics. Sandrine Lock's exile demonstrated how personal disputes with powerful figures could erase careers overnight. Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman's childhood fame in the 1980s gave way to a mission that many in Hollywood would rather avoid. Born on July 16, 1970 in Los Angeles, he starred in The Lost Boys and Stand By Me by age 15. In 2017, he published allegations of widespread child abuse within the industry and named former executives. His documentary Truth Be Told, released in 2019, detailed claims of sexual exploitation at industry parties. Feldman claimed that speaking out led to industry backlash and blackballing. He said agents stopped returning calls and studios refused to meet for pitches. His net worth dropped from an estimated $2 million in 2016 to under $500,000 by 2020 after legal fees and production costs. Fundraising for his nonprofit supporting abuse, survivors struggled without corporate sponsors. Public appearances drew both support and hostility. Major networks declined to air his documentary citing defamation concerns. Independent screenings became his only platform. By 2021, his name rarely appeared in mainstream entertainment news. The actor who once embodied teen rebellion found himself sidelined for exposing Hollywood's darkest secrets. Corey Feldman's exile underscores the peril faced by whistleblowers in an industry built on secrecy. Brittany Murphy. Brittany Murphy's luminous smile graced screens in the late 1990s, yet behind the scenes her world unraveled in whispers of betrayal. Born on November 10, 1977 in Atlanta, Georgia, she rose to fame with roles in Clueless and 8 Mile by age 20. In 2003, she married British writer Simon Monjack and publicly supported his blacklisting after he was accused of forging documents to obtain U.S. work visas. Industry insiders claimed her defense of Monjack led studios to view her as too controversial to insure. By 2006, film offers dwindled and her salary demands were rejected. She turned to television guest roles and voiceover work, but budgets were minimal. Her net worth fell from $3 million in 2004 to under $200,000 by 2008, after legal fees and Monjack's mounting debts. On December 20, 2009, she collapsed in her Los Angeles home and died from pneumonia, exacerbated by anemia and multiple drug intoxication. Monjack died 5 months later under similar circumstances. Studios refused to revisit her final films, and her death sparked conspiracy theories about foul play. The industry that once celebrated her talent now treated her legacy with caution. Brittany Murphy's exile from Hollywood screens reflected how alliances and personal loyalties can become career liabilities. Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin's exile began long after his silent comedies conquered the globe. By 1940, his iconic tramp character had made him one of the richest and most influential figures in cinema. His earnings topped $3 million per film, and he controlled United Artists alongside Douglas Fairbanks and Mary Pickford. Yet, during the Red Scare, his political views drew suspicion. In May 1952, the newly inaugurated Immigration and Naturalization Service denied his re-entry to the United States after a London trip. Government officials cited concerns over moral turpitude and alleged communist sympathies. Chaplin settled in Switzerland at age 63, vowing never to return. His American net worth, once estimated at $30 million, remained locked behind barriers of ideology. He continued making films overseas, including A King in New York in 1957, a satire of McCarthyism. In 1972, he received a Special Academy Award for the incalculable effect he has had in making motion pictures the art form of this century. Despite this honor, he never lived or worked again in Hollywood. His name was removed from studio contracts, and his likeness seldom appeared in retrospectives until after his death in 1977. The man who built laughter into a global language ended his days under alpine skies, a master of his craft, yet an exile from the industry he helped create. Gail Sergard. Gail Sergard became Hollywood's first casualty of the blacklist in 1947. Born on February 15, 1899, in Litchfield, Minnesota, she won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress in 1940 for The Letter. Her career included memorable roles in The Thief of Baghdad and The Mark of Zorro. In October 1947, the House Un-American Activities Committee released a pamphlet naming her among suspected communists. Without formal charges, she lost her studio contract and was unceremoniously dropped from a high-budget Cecil B. DeMille epic. By 1950, offers vanished, and her salary plummeted from $3,500 per week to nothing. She turned to regional theater and occasional radio work, yet screen appearances ceased. In 1955, she moved to England seeking roles but found none. Her net worth dwindled to modest savings from early successes. When the blacklist ended in the 1960s, studios failed to reintegrate her. She made a final uncredited appearance in 1979, yet the glow of her earlier acclaim never returned. Gail Sergard's fall illustrated how mere association with left-leaning politics could erase a career overnight. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby once reigned as America's dad, earning hundreds of millions from The Cosby Show and stand-up specials. By 2000, his net worth surpassed $400 million. Revered for family-friendly humor, he held multi-year contracts with major networks and sponsors. In December 2014, former model Andrea Constand filed a civil lawsuit accusing him of sexual assault in 2004. Over the next 3 years, more than 60 women came forward with similar allegations. In April 2018, he was convicted of aggravated indecent assault and sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. Networks swiftly removed reruns of his shows, and streaming platforms pulled his specials. Sponsors ended licensing deals, and publishers withdrew his books. His fortune evaporated under legal fees and lost royalties, dropping to under $20 million by 2020. The Academy rescinded his Presidential Medal of Freedom. His prison term and public disgrace made him uninsurable and unemployable in entertainment. In June 2021, his conviction was overturned on procedural grounds, yet the industry remained distant. The star who once embodied wholesome comedy became a symbol of fall from grace, his legacy irreparably tarnished. Larry Parks. Larry Parks achieved fame in 1946, portraying Al Jolson in The Jolson Story, earning an Academy Award nomination and a salary of $100,000. Born on December 13, 1914 in Olathe, Kansas, he parlayed this success into leading roles throughout the late 1940s. In May 1951, the House Un-American Activities Committee summoned him to testify about communist affiliations. He admitted past membership in left-wing groups and named colleagues. Despite his cooperation, studios deemed him tainted. By 1952, his contract with Columbia Pictures was terminated and projects in development were canceled. His weekly pay of $1,500 ceased and offers dried up. He attempted a comeback in live television, yet found doors closed. His net worth declined from nearly $1 million to under $100,000 by 1955, after agent fees and lost earnings. In 1961, he made a brief screen return, but never regained leading man status. He died on February 27, 1975, at age 60, his career forever marked by political hysteria. Larry Parks's story exemplifies how even cooperation could not protect actors from Hollywood's fear-driven blacklist. Sterling Hayden. Sterling Hayden's life combined swashbuckling heroics with Cold War defiance. Born on March 26, 1916 in Montclair, New Jersey, he rose to fame in The Asphalt Jungle and The Godfather decades later. In 1951, he testified before the House Un-American Activities Committee, admitting brief membership in the Communist Party in the 1940s. He named names, yet still faced repercussions. Studios cut his salary and removed him from a Cecil B. DeMille epic. By 1953, he found himself uninsurable for leading roles and relegated to supporting parts. His net worth plummeted from $200,000 to mere savings from earlier films. Disillusioned, he left Hollywood for months, working as a merchant seaman. He returned sporadically to acting in the 1960s, yet never commanded top billing again. His final decades saw critical acclaim for character roles, but no restoration of his former stature. He died on May 23, 1986, at age 70. His legacy is much defined by his principled stand as by his on-screen performances. Sterling Hayden's exile underscored the personal costs of political conviction in an industry governed by fear.